Ma'am, is it compulsory to join with the same ID which is mentioned at the time of registration?
I guess so. That's how we'll identify who the person is, whether the person is registered or not. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to keep a track on who's
Yesterday
joining
there
which
was
group.
some problem in my ID, then I joined with another ID. Okay,
So
I will
once a
try.
while, see, exceptions can always be considered. For that, if you
Okay.
send an email or WhatsApp that this is the problem, that's pretty understandable. Problem becomes when out of 200 registered participants, if a large number of people join with different IDs, then it becomes little difficult. All right,
Okay, thank
so
you, ma'am.
let
Yeah,
me
thank you.
start by sharing my content. Is my slide visible?
Yes.
All right. So the topic for uh, the discussion right now is social networking and the underlying communication etiquettes. Please let me know if you have problem with my audio or my PPT. Else I'm going on with my talk. So right now, the contemporary, the new normal has uh, forced all of us to revert to social networking. Even I know many of my friends who maintained a very clear stand that I'm not into social networking. I don't have a social media account, social network account, and I'm happy the way I am. But I have seen people changing in the last 1 year, how they have created their accounts and how they have started connecting with their near and dear ones. And a new trend that has cropped up right now, I guess many of you must have witnessed the same. The birthdays and the anniversaries and the cake companies are being telecast using, Google Meet and things like that, even among close family and friends, so that the kids of the family do not feel left out, do not miss out on the blessings and the smiles. I'm sure you all must have experienced this. And this also has its own plus and its own minus. But the topic for today's discussion is not the plus and minus of the technology, but as to how we should use it or how we should let other people uh, uh, account when it comes to our own privacy and our own concerns, so that we don't end up getting hurt, or we don't hurt the sentiments of the person who are connected to us through such networks. So to begin with, let us first try to understand what is social network. The definitions are there are various definitions available on Google and Google sites and Wikipedia sites. I have taken some which I found very relevant uh, and which were very comprehensive in their explanation. So, how the Google defines social networking? The use of dedicated websites and applications. PPT is not visible. Is it for one person or for everyone? Hello?
Visible, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Then I guess
PPT
probably
is visible.
yeah,
It
yeah.
might
Those
be
who
network issues.
yeah.
It
So
might, they might.
individual network problem. So you may try reconnecting. So the use of dedicated websites and applications to interact with other users or to find people with similar interests to one's own. This is how Google defines social network. We'll try to understand each and every concept of all these definitions slowly with examples. The next one is social networking is the use of internet based social media sites to stay connected with friends, family, colleagues, customers, or clients. social networking can have a social purpose, a business purpose, or both. So some of the social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram are very, very popular among youth these days. Not just youth, I can say I've even seen my parents who are in their 60s now using Facebook. And if nothing else, then we have our own WhatsApp University, which has its own set of propaganda. So this is the reach that social media and social networking sites have right now in our lives. Social networking site is an online platform which people use to build social networks or social relationships with other people who share similar personal or career interests. Now, uh, a commonality that you can witness in all these definitions is number one, sharing, and number two, commonality of interest. So, on these two basic components, all the social networking sites are designed so that people who want to share some ideas on interests, they can connect freely. Secondly, people or groups of people who have uh, similar interests, similar purpose, they can find their own group where they can discuss their interests and their habits. Okay, these are a few controversies that I took from the internet. So recently, I read a news about Kangna Ranaut's Twitter account being permanently suspended. So anyone knows why this happened? Anyone? Anyone would like to throw some light on why Kangna Ranaut's Twitter account got suspended? All right. So it so happened that I do not want to make any comments on the political stance of the person, but then she ended up commenting on Prime Minister Modi taking up some Virat Roop like he did in Gujarat in 2000. Now, this particular comment did not go well with many sections of our political fraternity, politically connected people. So Twitter thought it best to suspend the account because the connotations of her comments uh, uh, did not go well with the image of the prime minister or the image of any person of responsibility uh, uh, in any country, so much so like in a large democratic country like India. So Twitter handlers, the one who the management team, they said that Kangna Ranaut is taking up stands which are too extremist, and we do not advocate such uh, you know uh, comments in on our platform. So this is how her Twitter account got suspended. Next one, you see Abhishek Bachchan. 5 times Abhishek Bachchan shut trolls with a savage response. Um, so this is another thing that has happened. A person posts something, and if a person is a public figure, we as users, we start trolling the person. So we start saying nasty things about herself or himself, and then about the family members, about the lifestyle of the person. So there is no end to it. I need not explain more. You can very well understand to what degree a user can troll a person, and to what degree a you know the hurt can be uh, extended. So this is another thing, trolling. How far this is correct? Is it ethical? It is not ethical. We'll discuss. Then you see Robert Vadra and Mango people comment. So Robert Vadra, the son-in-law of Indian National Congress President Sonia Gandhi, he ended up commenting that Congress is a party of mango people in Banana Republic. So again, many sections uh, of our political fraternity got hurt, and then Robert, I didn't know that people do not have any sense of do not have sense of humor in this. Again, suspended his own account. Then Air India employee arrested for Facebook update. So the Air India employees were not happy with certain tax regime and the stand of Supreme Court of India. So they updated something on Facebook and they ended up apologizing, and again their Facebook accounts were suspended. So you see, our constitution, then is it not ironical that this particular kind of freedom of speech is not exercised, or we cannot exercise it completely when it comes to social networking sites? I want all of you to think over it, and we'll discuss on this particular topic towards the end of the session during our interaction, when our interaction happens. So anyways, let's move on. Freedom of speech and social networking sites, a very, very debatable topic right now. Examples: Switzerland footballer expelled from the Olympics for racist tweet against South Koreans. Okay, then government cracks down on social media, block Milind Devra's Twitter account. So, India being a cultural country with people from various ethnical backgrounds, we must be sensitive to how we use our language, on whom we are using our language, so that we don't end up doing something that we don't intend to convey. Even if we intend to convey something nasty, we should have our own limits and our own boundaries. That is what this whole session is all about. Some of the salient features of social networking: they incorporate a range of new information and communication tools operating on desktops and on laptops, on mobile devices such as tablet, computers, and smartphones. Yes, people are commenting on freedom of speech and social networking. I would not digress now, else the entire time will go just this discussion. We'll definitely take up all your answers towards the end of the session. So social networking services, all of us know, some of us access these sites through our mobile phones, through our tablets, through our laptops. So there are various technological platforms which have been made compatible with various social networking sites. They may feature digital photo, video, sharing and diary entries, blogging, and things like that. The latest in town is TikTok. I know all of you must be aware with TikTok videos. Either you must have made a video of yourself, or you must have definitely watched a TikTok video. Defined as websites that facilitate the building of a network of contacts in order to exchange various types of content online, social networking sites provide space for interaction to continue beyond in-person interactions. These computer-mediated interactions link members of various networks and may help to both maintain and develop new social and professional relationships, both to maintain and to develop. So, if you have a certain list of friends in your public profile, you can continue being friends with them. Also, you can go on adding new friends who share similar interest and who have commonality in the way they look at life. Social networking sites allow users to share ideas, digital photos, videos, posts, and to inform others about online or real world activities and events with people in their network. So, all these networking sites are coming up with new add on features to this experience of sharing ideas and digital photos and videos more and more realistic. In other cases, members can contact has or even the contact has a connection to. So this particular feature is very active in Facebook, and you also have privacy settings that you can activate in order to allow or disallow people who look at your profile. So I know for my own Facebook setting, only those people can send me friend requests who are friends of my friends. So you have settings like anyone one can send you request, friends of friends can send you request. These are the settings. I'm more than WhatsApp because I don't have an Instagram account or a Twitter account. So any one of you who has these accounts is welcome to share their own experience regarding privacy settings or a feature that they find good or bad about that particular social networking site. Depending on the features, depending on the purpose that they serve, social network sites are categorized as follows. So one, the example is Facebook, and Facebook is known for creating a network which is primarily used for socializing with existing friends, or in this case also making new friends. Socializing with friends. The next one is online social networks are decentralized and distributed computer networks where users communicate with each other through internet services. Okay, so number one feature of social networking site is socializing with friends. Number two is using internet services to communicate. Number three can be apart from social connections, there are also non-social interpersonal communications, as in the case of LinkedIn, which is more career oriented, employment oriented, where people connect not for making friends, but where people connect with each other to know more about the professional setting, what's happening, to connect with people who are in similar business, or to make themselves visible to their prospective employers who are looking for a resume like the person has. So these are some of the purposes for non-social interpersonal communication. Then social navigation, social network services used primarily for helping users to find specific information or resources. This example is Quora. Have you ever read any Quora discussion? Have you posted anything on Quora? Anyone?
I read.
Okay, yes. So, as we all know that those who must have used it, Quora is again a social networking site where you can go for an in-depth discussion on a topic uh, uh, where people put their opinion both for and against. And at times, I have found Quora discussion very useful when it comes to put in the process in linguistics for PhD. I was just putting in to see what is the latest in town, and then I saw all experts from all across the world putting in what they are doing, what they are not doing, and the discussion was very interesting. I also ended up typing something so that the information which I had to share also becomes fruitful, useful for somebody who logs in after me. So Quora is one such site. So are social networking and social media synonymous? So many a times these two terms are used interchangeably. There's no harm in using these terms interchangeably, social networking sites or social media, but the beauty lies in the fact that we should know the difference. Once we know the difference, then it's okay. Even if we are using it interchangeably, we know the underlying difference between them, and when there's a need, we can differentiate between the two concepts. So let us try to understand social media. So some of you might be wondering that instead of straight away taking you to communication etiquette, why am I spending time on making you understand what is social networking, what is social media, what are the types of social networking sites? So you see, unless we know what are the different platforms which are on the offering, it's very difficult to understand what is expected of us as a user and what is not expected of us when we are posting our comments. And each social network site, be it Facebook, be it Twitter, be it WhatsApp, they have different boundaries. So the degree of freedom that you may exercise on Facebook is different from the degree of freedom you exercise when you are posting certain comments on WhatsApp, or for that matter on Twitter. That's why it's good to understand the difference between these two things, and the idea behind what is social networking site and what is social media. Social media are interactive technologies that allow the creation or sharing or exchange of information, ideas, career interests, and other forms of expression via virtual communities and networks. Social media are interactive web or internet-based applications. So you see, social media is the technology, social network is what we see. So I can say that social media is more of hardware, and social networking site is what is the software, to put in very layman terms. So when you say social media, I'm using social media, it is basically the technology which enables us to use social networking sites. So this is the difference that I found after a lot of research on on what is social media and what is social network. In fact, earlier even I was of the opinion that these two things are one and the same, but then I also developed a clarity of understanding that no, these two things are very, very different. Social media is, you can say, the Android or the Apple based technology that we are provided with, and social networking sites are what makes use of this technology to connect, to help us to connect with our friends and colleagues. So social media makes use of user generated content such as text, posts or comments, digital photos or videos, and data generated through all online interactions, and is the lifeblood. So these are the things which is the lifeblood of social media. Users create service specific profiles for the website or app that are designed and maintained by the social media organization. So there are certain applications which ask for various information from you, and once they store it, all the other websites, all the other applications that you install on your device already have those information. So every time you need not re-enter your name, your photograph, they'll just ask, allow this particular app to access your contacts, this particular app to access your photos. So this is what happens once you have once you have allowed all these social media applications to be installed on your device. Now, another important distinguishing concept that we must understand is difference between social media and traditional media. Some social media websites we have already listed include Facebook, TikTok, WeChat, Instagram, Weibo, Twitter, Tumblr, Baidu, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. Telegram, the latest in town. I just installed Telegram last week, and another phone calling and messaging service. I am still to explore what is so different. When I was trying to book my slot for vaccination, So people suggested that please install Telegram. You will get instant messaging and updates regarding where the vaccines are available and how to book for the slot. So desperate to get my own vaccine shot, I installed Telegram, but so on and so forth, I have not got any update. So I got my slot through Arogya Setu. So we are still to see how these things are advertised and how they are marketed so that users install them. Social media outlets differ from traditional media like print, magazine, and newspapers in many ways, including quality, reach, frequency, usability, immediacy, and permanence. So, quality. So you know when you read a newspaper article and you read a discussion on a social media, you know the quality of news, the authenticity of the news, and the usability of the news. If something is printed on the Hindu or Times of India or Hindustan Times, you read the newspaper, you know the correspondents and the reporters and their own research team must have done some bit of their research, and so whatever they are talking, whatever they are writing has some authenticity to it, some credibility to it. But when you read something on WhatsApp, when you read something on as a Facebook post, unless some authentic source has been tagged, it's very very naive of us to trust the news. Additionally, social media outlets operate in a dialogic transmission system, while traditional media outlets operate under a monologic transmission model. So, needless to say, uh, all these social media sites like Facebook and Twitter and WhatsApp are dialogic, meaning both the parties, the sender and the receiver, have equal opportunities to post their opinion. They can both the parties can write their opinion, both the parties can share their opinion and react to what has been written. But when it comes to newspaper and print and radio, it is primarily monologic. So if the reporter has reported something, the editor has written a piece of article, we can only we cannot send reaction on the same newspaper and immediately. So we have to revert to other social networking sites where we can voice our opinion if we agree to certain stand or we do not agree to certain stand. So newspapers and radios do not allow such kind of dialogic transmission. In radio it does happen at times. So you have the radio jockey who says that, please call on this number between this and this if you have something to say about this. Especially during COVID times, I see the radio jockeys have explicit phone numbers that if you have something to share, if you are offering oxygen cylinders, so on and so forth, please call up and share your information. So to certain extent, certain radio programs are dialogic, but only to serve certain purpose. Definitely nobody can call up and say, hey, listen, I don't like your radio program, why don't you shut? Or hey, I don't like what you said this way, why don't you amend your discourse? So these things definitely do not happen in traditional media. So now with some understanding of what is social networking, what is social media, and what is traditional media, let us take on the networking etiquettes one by one, the do's and the don'ts, which form the core of today's session, this session. Number one, fill out your online profiles completely with information about you and your business. So you see, I have put in two Facebook posts, two pictures where people have put up, one is a cat photo and other is a dog photo. These are completely no when it comes to social networking etiquette. So never ever put misleading information, misleading photograph. These you might find it, when I say you, it's not you, it's mean a user may find it funny or hilarious, or may enjoy that bit of ambiguity, but then you do not send out good impression. People have difficulty forming trust in you or finding credibility in your profile. Somebody who cannot as much so much so as share one's own profile picture and correct name. So anything that is shared on the profile loses to have any degree of authenticity. So number one is avoid using fake names, fake images, or photographs which are not representative of your interests or your personality. Second is use a different profile or account for your personal connections. That is, do not mix your personal and professional connections. These most of us do, especially when it comes to phone numbers. Most of us have different WhatsApp group for our or different phone numbers when it comes to connecting with family and friends, and also different WhatsApp group. So I'm sure many of you must be a part of group where you have your college friends join together, your school friends join together, your immediate cousins and family together. And this particular FDP also, Dr. Smriti created a WhatsApp group where we are all members, and it becomes easy to connect and deliver information. Now imagine if in this group everybody starts wishing good morning, happy birthday, how are you doing? So the whole purpose of creating that particular WhatsApp group is diluted. So we as users, we as conscious users should know to create distinction between our personal profiles as well as our professional profiles. Create a section on your main profile detailing who you are seeking to befriend, and ask that visitors abide by that information. In Facebook, they generally ask that who do you want to befriend. I don't know what is the purpose, explicit purpose behind it, but then this can narrow down the vast amount of traffic that we see in our profile. If we want to, if I have a Facebook account only for academic purpose, so I should write it explicitly that this Facebook profile has been created for such and such purpose, and people with this kind of background are invited to be my friends. So it's always good. If you do not put these things explicitly, there's always you can play with your words to put forth your idea. Then offer information of value. Don't just talk about yourself and your company. So this is what we call boasting. So this happens with public profiles. Many business setup have their Facebook pages. They have their own WhatsApp group where they promote their business, and they endlessly go on talking about blah 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 blah. And what do you end up? Oh my god, this person is so much full of self boast and a heightened sense of self worth. So don't do that. Sound authentic, sound credible. Let people form opinion about you, how good or how bad or how authentic or how great you are or your company is. Then don't approach strangers and ask them to be friends with you just so you can then try to sell them on your products or services. This is especially for business account, but then this can also be applied in scenarios where we have we make friends or we form groups for purposes other than business. So on Facebook, people send friend requests without even meeting someone or without even having remotest of connection with them. No academic connection, no family connection, and random people are sending a friend request, and on top of it, people are also accepting friend requests and causing jeopardy in certain extreme cases. Yesterday, I read a news about a girl who was subjected to molestation by 25 men. This happened in Gurgaon. So she made a Facebook account. She befriended a person on Facebook for a couple of years. They were Facebook friends, and then the one person invited the girl to come over and meet the parents, and then she was led astray into some forest area, and then she was molested, and now she is filing complaint in police that this happened. Police and our cyber crime cell also time and again have cautioned us that, do not make friends just for making friends. You should know the person at least to some degree. You should have some kind of connection with the person or some knowledge about the person who's your friend, to whom you are sending friend request, and whose friend request you are accepting. The next one is pick a screen name that represents you and your company well. Okay, so this I'm sure all of you do. In case of personal accounts, we generally go by our own name, but when it comes to professional account, your screen name should represent you and your company and what they stand for. Don't send out requests for birthdays, invitations to play games, or other time wasters for those using the site. So this used to happen a lot in the initial days of Facebook. I don't know, there are so many games. I don't even remember the name of the games. Some of you might know that they send so many points has been sent, game invitation has been sent, invitation for certain event has been sent. So these things happen. More frequently on WhatsApp. I don't know how many of you have come across a message like this, that please share this message to 1008 numbers and 108 numbers and 20 numbers in 10 minutes, so that this particular god will shower their blessings on you, or a curse will fall on you if you do not share your this message to 10 WhatsApp contact in 1 minute. So these are the things which I'm exactly talking about, time wasters. And you you kind of question that person's intentions, that why did you send these things, because these things do not have any credibility. I'll share a very personal experience. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Again, this
Yes,
okay.
yes.
This is
Yep.
monologic kind of a thing, so that's why I thought, I don't know, इतना सारा मेरा ऑडियो का प्रॉब्लम होता है कहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं कि मैं बोलती चली जा रही हूँ. So this is a quick experience I'll share, and how later on I also laughed at myself that despite having a clear stand on all those things, you fall prey to certain things. A very, very close friend of mine from this IIT campus, she sent me a message on some Amazon gift voucher kind of a link. Okay, so for a second, I believed, since I believe in her, I believed the authenticity of that link, and I clicked on it, and then it was like, in order to avail this particular gift, send this link to 20 contacts. And then I know that I have fallen prey to another of this kind of scheme. I called up that person and I said, why did you send it? I thought it's coming from you, so there has to be certain level of credibility to this link. And then she said that, I thought that maybe I'll win something. This also came from a very authentic source, that's why I passed it on, but I realized that this was incorrect. So this does happen. There are times when we trust a source so much so that anything coming from that source, we do not doubt it. So we should always have our minds open. हो सकता है जहाँ से कोई message, any information that is coming, that person did not do any kind of serious background check, and so the information that is coming is also dubious. So as users, we don't have to blindly believe in someone. We have to be alert, and we have to have our own sense of wisdom when we do that. Okay. Okay, so next one is so number 8 is check out the people who want to is this the same thing or I missed? Yeah, check out the people who want to follow you or be your friend. So this is also important. as I mentioned here, people judge you by the company you. How many of us do actually do a background check of, suppose you get a friend request from a person whom you personally do not. How many of us go to the extent of checking who our mutual friends are? I'm sure many of us do it. Click on, suppose they are showing you have 4 mutual friends, you click on to see who are the mutual friends. And again, if those 4 people, you know those people, I use other tools also. Manoj, what are the kind of tools that you use? Manoj, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
No, Manoj.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can hear you. I can definitely hear you. In fact, I was typing in the chat box. Now, in addition to just checking the mutual friends list, you can also go to other social networking sites like LinkedIn and general Google search. At least it will give you
Some idea
an
about who
idea.
the person is.
Yes.
Yes. And important, so much of your information is at stake. You have to, at least most of us do not fake information on public profiles. So it's very
Yes,
important,
that's right.
as educated users, it's very important that you do a background check um, on the person who has sent you friend request. So this is the whole purpose, is check out, and also what kind of friends, or what kind of mutual friends you have, that also decides on whether you are accepting that friend request or you do not accept. I am very apprehensive in selecting friends on Facebook. So there are times when people have even complained that, see, I've sent you friend request, you have not accepted it. So just by knowing somebody by name does not mean I become your friend. So in any case, everybody takes their own time. So people might be very open to such ideas, and some people might not be open to such ideas. Never. Okay, if someone does not want to be your friend, accept their decision gracefully. This does not happen in present times. Oh my God. If somebody declines the friend request, the person becomes enemy number 1. How dare that person, declined my friend request, or what does she think of herself, or he think of herself, such a snob. This should not happen. So making friend, as in personal life, if 10 people are in a room, do you just go to somebody and say, hey, listen, I want to be your friend, and you put forth your hand to shake hand? No, it does not happen that way. We should follow similar behavioral patterns when it comes to social networking sites and making friends. There is a certain way in which you introduce yourself and you become friends. And when somebody declines that, say, no, I do not want to be your friend, accept it gracefully. It's not because they are judging you for who they are, it also is because they have their own boundaries for who they want to be their friends. You can't be friends with everyone. That is the basic idea. Never post when you are overly tired, jet lagged, intoxicated, angry, or upset. Okay. How many of you have a similar experience, that when you have been very irritated with something, or angry at something, or upset, you have written emails, you have written WhatsApp chat messages, or you have posted something on Facebook? I want you to be open. I do not want you to share your message, but you can also, if you experience something. And that delete thing, not for both the. It has happened with me also, and with people, and then we delete it, thankfully. But there are certain platforms where we cannot delete it. So and it is also a very important component in a. which is overly sentimental,
Sorry to
overly
interrupt,
emotional.
ma'am. You're not audible.
Again, am I not audible?
Now audible.
Okay, so the whole idea is never post something on public portal which you might regret after a certain period. When we are overly sentimental, feeling overly sentimental, overly emotional, now especially
Ma'am, sorry, again your voice is gone.
it again, or can you hear me?
Now it is back, ma'am.
Now it is
Yes,
fine. Okay. In order, I think that's a problem. Okay. So moving on to next point, compose your posts, updates or tweets in a word processing document so you can check grammar and spelling before you can send them. Okay, so the beauty of this particular point, when I say beauty, I mean I have a very sarcastic underlying tone to it. So the beauty of this is most of the social networking sites support English font. Very few have Hindi or Bangla or Indian languages, and most of us use English to type in our own languages, in our own mother tongues, and also we use English terms uses, and not all the social networking sites have automatic grammar checks. So we end up posting something which creates a mockery of the whole of the entire purpose. Either the grammar is gone or the way the sentence is structured, that is gone. So you see, whatever people who are reading our posts are actually judging us. We do not intend to convey about us, but unconsciously this is what is being conveyed. So we have to doubly check our posts whenever you write something. A one-liner, fine. People generally do not make mistakes when they write one-liners, but if you are writing a post which is big enough, if you're writing a post on LinkedIn sites, it's always advisable that you first frame in your mind what you want to write, what is the purpose with which you are writing a particular post, read it, check the grammar and the grammatical agreement. It's also important for any kind of technical. Professor Smita Jha.
Ma'am, sorry, but
Yeah.
your voice is not audible.
Okay, I can do one thing. I'll switch off my video so that okay, now to switch off my video, I have to exit this presentation mode. Anyways, am I audible now? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay, then. Okay. So, anyways, this is another obstacle that become normal in the new. And then you have to ask, am I audible? Am I visible? Is the PPT visible? And half of the energy goes in all these things. And I really physical contact, when you are attending lecture and you are lecture with a cup of tea and a cup of coffee, and you can see people make friends, make groups. These are the things which are actually missing now. Anyways, let's see when we get back to the old normal. Moving on. So let's see what are the do's. Share several times a day, but space out your post every few hours. Okay. Some of us have seen some of our friends are very, very active on Facebook, and some are actually sleeping people on Facebook. For some, 5 minutes. And to certain extent that you snooze the person for 30 days. How many of you have done this? You have snoozed a person for 30 days on Facebook. Anyone? I have done that for a very, very close friend of mine, and I even called her up and said, see, this is what it is. Every now and then you are posting something. She was into a lot of cooking, so every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, some cooking hack, and so I snoozed her because I wanted to read what is happening in other people's life. So please share your experience. If you have found something and what was annoying that you snooze the person or you block the person on WhatsApp. I want to understand what annoyed you. Irrelevant posts, too much political posts, okay? Yes? Ladies? Bad about India, okay? So you see, forwarding the messages, bad images, okay. See, we are pretty conscious about what we like and what we do not like, and there is a negative post about it. I understand that. So so at least on social media we have that freedom. This kind of freedom we do not have in when we meet somebody physically. You know, you are sitting with someone and somebody is going on chatting and you don't like the topic. What do? You get up and go, or you say what. But there is also a fear that the person might not take you in a healthy way. But this kind of freedom we definitely snooze the person. You can block the number without the person immediately becoming aware about it. Subsequently, they will. Why I'm trying to send this person a message and this double tick is not happening on WhatsApp? It seems the person has blocked my number. Or why is it that on Facebook I'm not getting updates about this person? And when you go and check and you see, oh, I am not friends with this person. But anyways, yes, there are certain annoying things and we do not take annoyance beyond a certain level. So for us, our etiquette is there's no harm in posting something, but people do not want to know only about you. So please refrain from posting many things at a time. If you have something important, do post it. Otherwise, it's always good to space out your posts. Best is a few days in between. Respond to all comments as quickly as you can. Message people are wishing you, it's good to individually thank them. Thank you so and so, thank you so and so, thank you. It makes them feel wanted and important. It's very, very important. एंड वैसे लोगों के वॉल पे कमेंट करने में भी मजा आता है कि आपने उनको कुछ आपने विश किया एंड द पर्सन इज रिप्लाइंग थैंक यू, बट मोस्ट ऑफ अस आर लेजी एंड आफ्टर 50 messages we just write thank you all. So that attend to the messages and no hashtag. One hashtag is fine, 10 hashtags are not. Oh, definitely. I am not a very big fan of hashtag. So be aware of that. You can hashtag, but right now, hashtags this, hashtag this, cousin wedding, hashtag cousin wedding, hashtag lehenga design, hashtag friends get together, hashtag Jaipur Palace. So many things, hashtag. Who is interested in knowing all hashtags? Anyways, so always keep the 80/20 rule. Entertain and inform your audience first, sell to them second. This is especially for business profiles. First is to inform them what is it all about, what your products are all about on Facebook or on any social media. First is to entertain them, inform them, and then come up with the real agenda. Say, see, this is what I want to sell, either my idea or my product. Why is this so? Why is it so important that first we inform them, entertain them, and then we sell them? Anyone? Any take on this? What happens when we first inform them, entertain them, and then we get on the real business? One thing would be that by striking a conversation or some kind of communication with them, we build on their trust. We build certain kind of rapport, and once reliability, yes, Azad, we build our signs of trust, so that whatever we sell to them, they know that if or they already have formed an idea of who we are, what kind of personality we are. So it becomes very easy for them to believe in the product or the idea that we are selling. Straight away, if you share an idea or if you sell a product, they will have their own doubts that, okay, I do not know this person, I don't know what it is all about, how should I trust this particular idea or trust this person? I'll give you an example. If our parents say something that do this or don't do this, we hardly question it. We know that they have good intentions, we have known them, whatever they do is in our best interest. We don't question them. And even if you question them, your questions are not answered every now and then. It's like, I've said so, you have to do it. Otherwise, in your among your friends, if you have very caring friends, if they say, that, you should not meet this person, I don't think this person is right for you, or you should not apply for this job. So you kind of trust these people. Why? Because you have invested in that particular relationship. That is what I mean to say when you say that it's the 80/20 rule. First, you need to invest and then try to sell. Use first person plural when talking about your company or brand, like we or us. Now, let me take this entire discussion to the domain of academics. So there's a group of people. So suppose there is one department, there are 5 faculty members in the department, and they are conducting a course similar like FDP course, and one person is the one who is in charge of all the communications. Now there are times, and I have seen a couple of people who write I, using I, that I invite all of you on behalf of this, and it is and I look forward to this. Don't do that. It's an entire team and you are representing an entire team. Always write we or us. This brings a lot of happiness to us, and we are really obliged that we have got this opportunity to conduct this particular course, and we look forward to your presence. So whenever you are posting something on your public profile, or whenever you feel that you are representing a group of people, always switch to plural pronouns. That's general etiquette. Otherwise आपके अपने ग्रुप के लोग जब पढ़ेंगे, उनको लगेगा, see, I have also put in a lot of effort and this person is walking away with the credit. He has not even acknowledged our presence. That does not give a very good impression about you. Now I have tried to highlight some of the major do's and don'ts for individual accounts. Please write in chat box how many of you have Twitter account. For them, they may be able to relate to this. Don't automatically direct message to people that follow you, okay, by name. Don't do that. Then provide more context in your tweets with Twitter's latest update. Yes, okay. So instead of just putting a hanging statement, it's always good to give a background. And the backgrounds are also, you can also highlight the background, give hashtags about it, and you can always, there are various numerous ways electronically you can demarcate the context in which you are speaking. Don't hijack another company's hashtag. Don't buy followers. Okay, this has happened recently. This Salman Khan's movie has released, Radhe. Okay, and one person has said that ZEE5 has 2.5 million users right now, and Radhe, and there are 10 million people who have watched Radhe on day one. How is it possible? How do you think this has become possible? Okay, so I'm not talking about a particular group, Radhe, or a particular film personality who has the capability to buy followers, but this does happen. You wasting of time. Yeah. Let's not get into that mode. Some of us might be ardent Salman Khan followers. We do not want to hurt their feelings. It is our own personal opinion. So the best thing about web series right now is you do not wait for the ad breaks. You can simply fast forward and see what actually happened. So don't buy followers. Don't stuff your tweets with keywords. Okay, अब इतने सारे keywords डाल दो कि जो बेचारा आपका पोस्ट पढ़ रहा है वो परेशान हो जाए. ये किस लिए है, ये किस लिए है, ये किस लिए है. No, a couple of keywords here and there, fine, but too many keywords, because in order to understand the keywords you also have to understand the context in which the keyword has been cited. Okay, so the idea here is be gentle on the followers, be gentle on the people who are reading your post. Okay, let's come to Facebook. Don't like your own post. How many of us do that? I have seen many of my friends. पहला like उनका खुद का होता है. So and so has posted on Facebook. One like. Click on like. The person has liked. Okay, don't do that. Don't you definitely you like the post. Then you put it on the post, but don't like your own. Yeah, you are laughing now. People do that. Don't post or tag photos of fans, customers, or employees without permission. Okay, we should not tag friends without asking them. So there are this particular feature is there in Facebook. When you tag someone, it appears on the other person's Facebook post that a request for tag has been, when there's a request for tag, allow or disallow, or permit or do not permit. So these things happen on Facebook. Now I'll take this out of the context of Facebook and I will put this in the context of general communication. Suppose I have the phone number of a close friend of mine. Okay, a third person asks me, do you have so and so's phone number? I'll say, yes, I have. Can you pass me the number? There are times when we do pass on the number. We should never do that. Why? Because that person trusted in us and shared the phone number. And by passing on the phone number without that person's consent, we are playing with that trust. I know personally when somebody asks phone number of the people whose numbers I have, I say, yes, I have the person. Let me just talk to that person. I'll get back to you. I call up that person and I say, see, so and so is asking for your number. Shall I pass on the number? And the person says, yes, I pass on, or the person says, no, I do not pass on. Okay, so let us all get into this particular behavior pattern. We must respect people's decision, people's privacy, and how they want their information to be handled. Don't tag people or pages that aren't relevant to your post. Okay, I don't know, any further discussion is not required. Definitely something which is relevant you tag, something which is not relevant you do not tag. I mean, I write something and I tag Sachin Tendulkar. People will say, oh my god, Sachin Tendulkar has been tagged. Why? And they see my post and there's nothing about Sachin Tendulkar. I create a mockery of my own Facebook page. I will have a lot of visits to my site, but after that what will happen? That kind of popularity is not long lasting. Don't ask for likes, comments, or shares. This happened. Some of my friends put on cute pictures of their cute babies or audio and Please like, comment or share for this baby to be voted as #1 baby of the century, #1 baby of the millennium, #1 baby of the decade, and let her win the best. I'm sure many of us might have witnessed this. Am I right? We have experienced these things on Facebook and WhatsApp. Please share it as much as possible. Please like and comment. Please subscribe. This is on YouTube. Please subscribe, like and comment. Arey Baba, if I like it, I will definitely subscribe it. Why do you have to tell me that please subscribe it, like it or comment it? So, this is not right. What are the takeaway points? Takeaway points. Number 1. The do's. Complete and update your social pages and profiles. Many of the social networking sites have a kind of calibration that your profile is 20% updated, 40% updated, 50% updated. Do visit your profile and complete it to the best of your ability. People who are your friends, people who want to know about you have every right to know about you because you are on social platform. However, you can activate your own privacy setting. You can always, set who can visit your profile, who cannot visit your profile, and to what degree they can separate business and personal accounts. Share thoughtfully. Don't be mindless in sharing, and always be sensitive as to what kind of stuff you are sharing on your social networking profiles. Post regularly. Prioritize your networks. Okay. Interact with your audience. Then these are the do's. Don't be needy. Something that I said. Please like, subscribe and share and press the bell icon. This is on YouTube. Don't be a spammer. A spammer is who puts many things very frequently. भेज रहा है 10, 20, 50, 60 मैसेज भेजे जा रहा है. Even the emails, say that if this is a spam, indicate it. So don't be a spammer. Handle criticism gracefully. If you have put something on social networking site, it's not always necessary that people will be your yes man. They will like what you have said, or they will have favorable opinion. Be open to criticism and handle it gracefully. Okay, be accommodating. That's the basic idea. They have every right to not like your opinion. And right now, the situation has become so very volatile. If you say something about the government, you are in the X team. If you say something against the government, you are in the X team, in the Y team. So either you are in X team or you are in a Y team. There is no mid path. So you have to, and that's why it is said that you have to have an open mind in order to post something, in order to react to the post, respond to the post. If I disagree with your opinion, it does not mean I am your enemy. It's just that I disagree with what you said for that particular context. Why? Because I can have a different experience. I can have a different take on the whole thing. Don't complain. Help more than you sell. Okay? Do more than you sell. ये नहीं अभी in COVID times people are donating here and there. So recently I saw an entire conversation about somebody asking Amitabh Bachchan that you are everywhere in KBC, this, that, so and so forth. What have you done? What have you donated? You are the superstar of the millennium. So, and Amitabh Bachchan is responding that when I donate something, even from my right hand, even my left hand does not get to know, and who are you to ask me what I have done or what I have not done? It is very personal. Match your content to the platform. Okay, meaning अगर आपका LinkedIn का profile है, it's a professional profile, refrain from posting personal stuff. If it is personal profile, refrain from posting professional stuff. If you have a school ka WhatsApp group, refrain from posting a lot of your family's. अपने बच्चे के फोटो आप भेजे जा रहे हैं, अपने बारे में भेजे जा रहे हैं. So people might not be interested to know that part of your personal life. Watch your grammar and spelling. Be visual. Okay, be visual here does not mean that go on posting about your video record kar ke bhejo. Nahin. It means that if you have a platform, do at times share your photograph. Let people know who you are to a certain degree. At least let them imagine who you are. एक idea बनाने दो. अच्छा ये आदमी ऐसा ही ऐसा दिखता है. If I'm posting something, there's an award ceremony or there's a speech I'm making, post a photo, a decent photo. That makes the entire conversation very, very interesting. Don't write in all capitals. That's a big put off. Do not write in all capitals. It is basically self-obsession, and it is basically shouting. Okay, when somebody writes in all caps, it's like somebody shouting out. You do not want people to shout out. People can easily read if you write in decent mix of caps and small alphabets. Okay, location tag other businesses. This is a very, very professional do. When we are at a restaurant and we are saying restaurant, it is good that we location and the business. It's basic etiquette, because there's something paying courtesy. So picture courtesy we all do. Most of us do. If somebody has taken our picture, we post a picture and we write PC so and so. Similarly, we should also offer courtesy to. We also don't abuse. Have multiple hashtags. Do not share the same exact message again and again. Don't share without researching first. This has happened with WhatsApp. As we popularly say that now WhatsApp is WhatsApp University. There's a message about Italy and COVID-19 patients being put to post-mortem and a whole sort of thing found out. And I saw earlier it was Italy, then the country changed to Spain, then the country changed to US. Same message. The country name is changing. I don't know how people can be so mindless to share the same message without even bothering to find out whether there is certain level of truth or not. Share without expectation. अब ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने अपना फोटो डाला, अब every 5 minutes I am checking back. अच्छा कितने लाइक मिले, कितने कमेंट मिले. अच्छा इस पर्सन ने सिर्फ लाइक किया, कमेंट कुछ नहीं किया. मैंने तो उसके व्हाट्सएप पर इतना बड़ा कमेंट किया था. अच्छा इस पर्सन ने लाइक भी नहीं किया. इस पर्सन ने मुझे बर्थडे हैज नॉट इवन विश्ड मी बर्थडे. आई एवरी टाइम विश हर. Do not post stuff on social media with this kind of expectation. Give credit where credit is due. Something that I talked about, picture courtesy and location, things like that. Don't automate without thought. Always put in thought when you write something. Do think before tagging. Who you are tagging, why you are tagging, have you taken that person's consent for tagging? Don't obsess about the numbers. I have 3.6 million followers. Oh, I have to reach 4 million mark. So I have to go on sharing my own stuff. Don't obsess about numbers. With that, I come to the end of the session. Thank you and stay connected, and let's open the platform for some mutual dissemination of ideas and thoughts over what I discussed, what I shared with you. It is not discussing. This is not something that is new. We all know it. Okay. And but it's just that when things are in a right form, it makes us more thoughtful, more conscious about what we should do, what we should not do. Yes, so some of you can put on your audio and speak something, because now I'm tired of listening to my own voice. Yeah. Hello. Thank you, Sarita. Thank you, Nilima, for your comments. And there would be 5 questions from this session. Somebody has put on the audio but is not talking to me, talking to somebody in family. Sarita, for the PPTs, just now Dr. Smriti said that PPTs we are not sharing, but I think this whole, I have recorded this, the recording is still on. I'm recording this particular session and we'll post it on YouTube and we'll you. And I'm sure when you go through the lecture on YouTube, you can see all the slides. Okay. Yes, we will definitely share let the course get over. We'll compile all the YouTube links and then there's a WhatsApp group, we'll share it there.
There is a question. Dr. Mamta Rani this side.
Yeah, for the question, there would be 5 questions from this session. All right. So on the last day of this FDP, you'll get a set of some 20, 25, 30 questions, 5 questions from each session. And you'll have to answer because only one who gets 60% or more gets the certificate. The questions would be very, very preliminary. You don't have to, really panic that pata nahi kis tarah ka research questions aa jayega. No. It's something which is discussed in the session, something which is very, very basic, preliminary. So we'll try to frame questions where you have choices. You just click on the choices. So that is how we'll try to frame the questions. Okay, with that, if then to Smriti around.
Hello, I'm around. Now I can't hear you, Dr. Shweta. I don't know, there's some problem with our